There is a whole lot of faking going on. Honey, I've had more work done than a Rembrandt in a basement auction house, and even I know the difference between the real thing and a very good copy. The real thing hurts. The copy just looks slightly off in certain lighting. We have built a civilization on the understanding that some things are genuine. It turns out we were optimistic. The problem. Artificial intelligence can now write a news article, compose a symphony, paint a portrait, and forge a legal document, all before breakfast, and all with the serene confidence of someone who has never been wrong, because they have never been held accountable. It's like having a husband who can do everything around the house perfectly and never once takes credit. Terrifying. Where's the flaw? Where's humanity? Give me the man who puts the shelf up slightly crooked. At least I know he was there. The machine has no fingerprints. This is its greatest achievement and its most suspicious quality. Origin becomes everything. I want to tell you something. I have been wearing the same pair of Chanel earrings for 30 years. Do you know why? Because I know where they came from. I know they're real. I know they have history. My third husband gave me a diamond brooch that turned out to be cubic zirconia. We divorced, not over the brooch, over the lying. The brooch was actually very pretty. Humanity has always understood, at some level, that a thing without a story is merely an object. A thing with a story is evidence. The French have been protecting the origin of their wine since 1936 because they grasped what we are only now fully appreciating. Provenance is not bureaucracy. It is the difference between Burgundy and grape juice in a clever bottle. And believe me, I've had the grape juice. It smiled at me over a candle-lit dinner and called itself a Pinot Noir. I should have known. It had no references. Enter provenance. Provenance. From the French, provenir, to come from. The documented history of an object's origin and ownership. In the art world, it is the thing that separates a Vermeer from a very ambitious forgery. In the modern world, it is the thing that separates a fact from a very ambitious fiction. In other words, where did you come from, who made you, and can anyone vouch for you? Which is, coincidentally, the exact same question I asked every man I ever dated. Most of them failed. At least a painting can produce paperwork. Before the age of artificial intelligence, provenance was a specialist concern. The province of auctioneers, archivists, and the sort of people who spend weekends in climate-controlled rooms with magnifying glasses. Admirable people. Not, one would have thought, the vanguard of a civilizational movement. Surprise. The career opportunity. Now, here's where it gets good. Because you've been sitting there thinking, I'm a paralegal, I'm a journalist, I'm a historian, I've been doing the same job for 15 years, and some silicon child is going to take it. No, 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 no. You have something that machine does not have. You have 20 years of knowing when something is wrong. That instinct, that itch at the back of the neck, that's not data, that's experience. And experience is what provenance investigation runs on. The investigator of provenance asks not what a thing is, but what it was, and how it came to be what it claims to be. For this, one requires not processing power, but judgment. The ability to sense that a document is too clean, a signature too consistent, a narrative too tidy. Computers are very good at tidy. Reality is famously not. My first manager had a saying, "If it looks too good, it probably is." He was talking about headshots. The principle holds for everything. The journalist becomes a synthetic media investigator. The archivist becomes a digital lineage specialist. The paralegal becomes an authentication expert. The supply chain manager, and I confess I did not anticipate typing those words in this context, becomes a materials origin analyst. Each of them brings to the work what the machine cannot manufacture. The deep familiarity with how a real thing feels, behaves, and fails. And fails is important. Real things fail in recognizable ways. Fakes fail in strange ones. The bigger picture. The European Union, in its methodical and slightly exhausting way, has passed the world's first comprehensive artificial intelligence regulation. It requires transparency about AI-generated content in contexts where the stakes are high. Courts, hospitals, financial institutions. The Americans will follow in their own time with their own version, which will be louder and more litigious. Every court, every hospital, every bank, every publisher is now asking the same question. Can you prove where this came from? And that question, that beautiful, ancient, deeply human question, has to be answered by a person with expertise, a person who can be cross-examined, a person who can be sued if it comes to that, which rather ensures they'll be thorough. Accountability, the original quality control. The conclusion. We are entering what the optimists call an age of abundance, and what the realists call an age of noise. Artificial intelligence will generate more content in the next decade than human civilization produced in the preceding 10,000 years. Most of it will be competent. Some of it will be brilliant. A great deal of it will be, in the precise technical sense, made up. And in the middle of all that noise, all that generated, fabricated, convincing, plausible, beautifully rendered noise, one question is going to matter more than any other. Where did this come from? Is this real? Can you prove it? That is a human question. It requires a human answer. And the person who can give that answer credibly, professionally, with something at stake, is going to find that the world cannot function without them. Provenance is a niche. It's a career, like plumbing, but for truth. Which is, now that I consider it, the more essential of the two. Let me tell you what's really happening. Some kid, 22 years old, still living with a roommate named Kyle, is sitting at home using AI to do the work of 5 people. 5! And you're sitting there saying, "I just don't see how I'd use it." Of course you don't. You're looking at your job like it's 2015. Your job isn't your job anymore. Your job is asking better questions, checking smarter answers, and moving faster than the person next to you. And here's the part nobody tells you. You don't get replaced by AI. You get replaced by someone who spent 2 weekends learning how to use it. 2 weekends! I've had facelifts that took longer than that. And let's talk about fear for a second. You're afraid of looking stupid, of not understanding it, of pressing the wrong button. Sweetheart, you survived Windows Vista, group email reply alls, and Zoom during a pandemic. You can survive this. Here's the deal, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You don't have to love AI. You don't have to trust AI. You don't even have to like AI. But if you ignore it, you're going to become that person in the office everyone whispers about. Oh, they're great, but, they don't really use things. And that's how it starts. Not with a bang, not with a layoff. With a meeting you're no longer invited to. So do yourself a favour. Go home. Open the damn thing. Ask it a question. Let it help you. Worst case, you wasted 10 minutes. Best case, you just saved your career.